Hi guys, Tuger here with a new video. In this video, we're gonna talk about the classes in Mains For MoP Classic. So I have been playing the pre-patch a lot. I've been playing on all my characters that are level 85. So mainly a Druid, Hunter, Death Knight, Paladin, Rogue. We have Warlock and Shaman on the other accounts. We have 7 level 85s. The ones I'm missing is Warrior, which I think everyone knows it's very strong, at least in Mains For MoP Classic. Mage, which I'm also missing. Priest, which I'm also missing. And last but not least, the Monk, which I will most likely not level. So, to start off, there is a little... there is a way for me to get another level 60. Which is the boost. Now, do I want to have another level 85, excuse me, which is the boost? But I don't know if I really want to boost a character which I'm not going to main to begin with, or which I'm not going to level to level 90 to begin with. So I'm talking about Warrior, Priest, and Mage. I know that they are very strong by their own right. I think Priest is, like, again, one of the best healers, if not the best healer. Depends on how you see it, depending on the comp. You have also Shadow Priest, which is also quite strong with God comp. You have obviously your Warrior, which is the best melee, if I'm not mistaken. At least that's how it feels. And you have Mage, which is one of the best casters in the game, which is Frost Mage. Which you can also make it work as a Fire Mage, and maybe to a lesser extent Arcane. So, am I going to use a boost? I don't know. I could also level the Warrior, but I'm very lazy, so I don't know. But let's talk about every single class I have tested. I have, like, on the other account, I have this. So obviously, you have the Warlock, Shaman, and the Rogue here, which I have, like, the transmog of a Twink, pretty much. So, let's talk right away with Druid. So I have been playing Resto Druid, I've been playing Balance Druid, I have been playing Feral Druid. Now, I'm going to say that Balance Druid is really busted. Now it's on a pre-patch, I think, and from the testing I've done on the beta, it is also busted. I really like the fact that they made Cataclysm Balance Druid just way better. That's how I feel. I'm going to lower the sound here because, again, I think I want to be able to talk more effectively, obviously. So I'm gonna lower the sound, but there can be a bit of music. I do believe, like, it's great, right? I think if you choose 2 main Druid, you have for sure 3 great specs, which is Restoration Druid, the Balance Druid, and the Feral Druid. Now, I think if you play Balance Druid, you can safely change towards Resto Druid easily. I'm pretty sure you stack haste because you want to have more hots, and you want to cast a bit faster as a Balance Druid as well. If you like Resto Druid, and if you are Balance Druid, you want to have haste. I do believe, like, Feral Druid might want to go Mastery. I don't remember the stats allocation for Feral Druid because it's also the class I'm playing the least. If I had to main Druid, which is... there is a safe bet that I'm going to play Druid in MoP. I will be playing Balance Druid, and to probably a lesser extent Resto Druid, and I might just not play Feral Druid because I think there are other classes I would play if I was a melee class. So overall, I'm very happy with Druid as a class. I think it's very strong. You have multiple comps that you can play. It is dynamic. You can play double DPS as a Balance Druid, even as a Feral Druid, to be fair. And Resto Druid double, like 2v2 Resto Druid is very fun. 3v3, it's also very fun. And again, it's pre-patch, but on the beta I have tested, Symbiosis is very cool. Like, I really love that ability, and it's a shame that it actually got removed later expansions. So again, I think it's a safe bet. And since it is classic, 2019, Druid was my main. TBC, Druid was my main. Wrath, Druid was my main. Cataclysm, Druid was my main as well. So there is no reason for me to not main Mists of Pandaria Druid. And I like the fact that you're very mobile and you're very slippery. And whenever you're playing Druid and then you're playing another class, it feels like the class has no mobility, just because as a Druid you have that much of mobility overall. So and Astra form. Astra form is a big plus. I don't like the chicken form. I never liked it, but I do like the fact that you can actually go astral form instead of balanced druid like a moonkin form. You can go astral form, and you can actually see your transmog. Obviously, if you're doing incarnation, you're not going to see your transmog, but that's a CD, and who cares, pretty much. Now, Hunter. I have tested the 3 specs. Overall, the most fun spec is survival. It's also the most busted one, in my opinion. If I have to rate the 3 specs, which I will do a tier list once Miss Pandaria is actually out for the first week, I would rate Survival Hunter above MM and BM. I think BM, by its own right, is actually very decent. If you're popping all CDs, it does a lot of damage. But I don't like the gameplay of BM. It's not really my cup of tea. It was never really my cup of tea. So I prefer to lean towards survival, and I think MM, even though it's also fun to play, I just think it's more efficient and way more dynamic to play survival with explosive shot. Explosive shot, you have your black arrow, your serpent sting doing a lot of damage as well. You are a master of traps as well. Survival, it feels like you're more slippery as well. And I have more fun. And at level 90, you will get the glaives, which is like the talents. I think that's one of the most fun talents as well to play with. And I do believe like MM, even though you can do some big crits, it's way easier to stop, in my opinion. Now again, it doesn't mean that it's not bad. It's not good. MM is definitely good. If you want to play just MM, it's possible. But I really enjoy. Survival, and since it gets kind of removed in Legion in profit of the melee survival, I prefer to have like a one last hooray about survival, because you don't have the equivalent in any expansion right now. You have classic, which survival is like I mean, it's okay, and in retail, survival is a melee spec, like a melee hybrid spec. You can do a bit of range damage, obviously, but it is mostly melee. So yeah, I kind of miss the vibe of explosive shot, black arrows, serpent sting, which you all have that on retail for some reason, but they all behave differently. And I really enjoy Hunter. I think it's one of the most fun classes to play. Also a lot of freedom. You have a lot of like survival as well, like survival, not survivability, not the spec, but like survivability, being able to survive damage is really high as a hunter. And the CC that you can provide with like scatter shot, freezing trap is again like unparalleled. It's one of the easiest ways to get someone like CC'd. So really good. Thumbs up. Death Knight. I've played Frost. I've played Unholy Decay. I try to not play Blood Decay. Frost Decay it's a bit better right now. It feels like it has been hotfixed. I'm doing 56k obliterates on pre-patch for some reason, while at one point I even made a video about that. I only did like 30k obliterates with two-handers, so it's weird how it got improved. Like, I don't know if it's like a bug fix or there's something like going on, but it does a lot of damage. The issue is Frost Decay is a very slow spec. Now that is an immobile spec. If you compare it with retail, it feels like you're unstoppable in retail and you're like literally unslowable. Like you're always marching at a certain movement speed, while on classic, if someone kites you, you don't have double grip. You don't have like a way to move or get out of roots, and even AMS is there, but it's not like, again, that's not going to make you stop, like start moving, right? So Frosty feels a bit less reliant. Now, obviously, if you're playing with a healer and you have like another DPS with you, and you are able to catch up, you're doing like a lot of damage. Even on the beta, like you can slap people. Now the issue is that reliable slapping. If you compare it to our arms warrior, where it's way more reliable, and even though it feels like it does a bit less damage, an arms warrior does like in fact does less damage than the Frost Decay if you're like comparing those two like burst moments. But Arms Warrior has actual like uptime and reliable uptime, and you have a lot of talents that helps you with that, intervene, breaking roots and whatnot. So you can like flag, intervene, break roots, and then charge back in, for example. Or you have also heroic leap. You have a lot of ways to get in, while Frost Decay has one way to grip you in, and that's it. Like you have obviously Chains of Ice, but it's sometimes not enough. So I liked DK, but I am like preparing myself to not play it in like at level 90, at least not at first. I might level, like again, like I said, whenever Conquest is on farm, my friends are not online or whatnot, I might just level DK again, like to level 90. But am I going to main one? Right now the question is like, do I have other classes that I want to main? And I don't think DK is one of them. Then you have Unholy DK, which is a bit weird. I don't feel like I'm having a lot of fun playing it, but I think it's mostly because I'm not doing arenas in pre-patch. On the beta, I didn't do Unholy DK arenas, so that maybe that's why. I might have to test it. But on the pre-patch, like having arenas disabled and not being able to do one arena kind of sucks because you don't really test the class worthiness, and sometimes specs are better in arenas than in PGs, and Holy DK is one of those classes. Like it feels like it doesn't have that burst. You have Gargoyle, but it's like a 3-minute CD, it's way too long, and it gets stopped by everyone and anyone. So right now I don't really have an opinion about Unholy DK. Might be that in arenas it is like fantastic and I'm like missing out, but to be fair, I think I kinda don't put Death Knights even in my top 5, which out of 7 classes, which is a bit like alarming, and I don't want to level a class where I am kinda not into it for Miss Pandaria. So Frost DK might be fun, Unholy DK, and that is again pre-patch and beta, and might be different once it hits live. But I have other plans going on right now on Miss Pandaria. Then you have Retribution Paladin. He has no gear, but it actually does okay damage in pre-patch, like on the BGs. Like having no gear and being able to do 30k Tempest Verdict. So I'm actually imagining, oh, okay, if I had gear and have the same power level as other people, do I have more damage? The thing is, Retribution Paladin was my main from Wrath Classic, so Wrath Classic, to Cataclysm, and even like if I'm thinking about like back in the day, I was maining it till Legion, where I kind of stopped playing after this first season. So I have some sort of nostalgia factor playing Retribution Paladin because it is one of the best versions of Retribution Paladin. You have a way to slow reliably, you have a way to catch up reliably, you have a great CC, you have actual damage, and you are scary as hell, man. If you're popping every single CD and they're not stopping you, you're going to make someone pop away, and that's kind of fun. You also have some good off heals, you have Hand of Sacrifice, you have a lot of ways to make yourself useful. So I do like that fact. Now, there is also Holy Paladin, and Holy Paladin is really fun in Miss Pandaria. I don't really know if I am going to main Paladin. It is, is it? It is in my top 5 or maybe not. Like, yeah, just like outside of the top 5, and would make Death Knight actually like the last pick. But I don't know if I really want to go back to Paladin because it's again playing a class that I did play in the past, like in the far past. It would be really nostalgic, but it feels like right now I'm having more fun on other classes, especially like the top 3 is like kind of unbeaten right now. I plan to play 3 to 4 characters. I don't know if I really want to play Paladin, so that's like on my reserve like list. I might say like, look, okay, F it, I'm going to play Paladin because I have my friends playing this, and that. So why not play Paladin? But the idea is I'm probably going to lean on to other characters. Now let's talk about like this list. So, Warlock. It's no surprise. Affliction Warlock is really fun. You have like Soul swaps that you can do, which is like applying all 3 dots in a go. So it's really easy. You Soul Swap. I'm going to lower the sound here because it's not the same for some reason, but that's fine. You have Soul Swaps that you can do on multiple characters, on multiple people. So if you have enough shards, you can do boom, 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 boom. Everyone is dotted. Harms one guy, and that's the burst, right? So that's literally like that's the burst, and you can do Dark Soul, which basically makes your dots like do insane amount of damage, and then you have your Malefic Grasp, which helps you to do more ticks, like more like duplicated ticks. So it is fun gameplay. And you have Destruction Warlock, which is one of my all-time favorites specs, and it's not as busted as it was because of the base resilience that people have, and in general I feel like every single class does a lot of damage, so Destruction Warlock is not the only class that has that, but I do like the fact that you are very self-sufficient. You can heal yourself with Burning Embers, you can do insane amount of damage with Chaos Bolt, which finally with Miss Pandaria they kind of made Chaos Bolt a thing. Cataclysm Chaos Bolt did the same damage as Incinerate, and you would do that to go through shields, for example, which that's the only way why you would actually do Chaos Bolt. If you can actually spam Incinerates, you would spam Incinerates. Here, Chaos Bolt does insane amount of damage. You can like do a Havoc onto a guy and do double Chaos Bolt, which basically would decimate the whole team. And Shadowburn is a real finisher, and you would fish Shadowborn finishes to get like those Burning Embers again. So I really like the gameplay around Destruction Warlock. I like the mobility of Destruction Warlock. It's not like obnoxious. It is really okay, and it feels like again you have enough CC to end matches by yourself, which I cannot tell the same for every single class. It feels also you're very like you can play with anyone. You can play with a rogue, you can play with a shadow priest, you can play even with a mage. Especially in threes, you have multitude of comps that you can play. You can even play with an arms warrior, and that might be also very good. And dare I say it is my top 2 class because I cannot decide. It's really really good. I really enjoy Warlock, and it is on my priority list to actually get one at level 90. It has been the main class I have been maining in retail, so if you do care about retail, or at least if you don't know me from the retail channel, which I will soon convert it to Miss Pandaria because I'm very sick of retail, and it feels like Classic is just the way to go at this time for me, for all purpose, like for myself, for YouTube, but especially for myself, the fun-wise is on Classic. I do believe like Warlock, I cannot go wrong because if I compare it with retail Warlock is bland, like really bland. I don't know what they did to the class, but Affliction Warlock, you do damage with Shadow Bolts, you do damage with like nothing dot-wise. Your dots do nothing, while dots on Miss Pandaria actually mean something. In Destruction Warlock as well, if you're on retail, your class is basically around Immolate, your procs, Chaos Bolt, a bit of Conflag, just a bit, because it doesn't do too much damage, and a bit of Shadow Burn, because that also doesn't do too much damage. It is not like the finishing factor as it was like in MoP. But Miss Pandaria, everything is a threat. Like, it is not a one-trick pony. Like, you do damage with everything. So, if someone lets you cast Incinerate, they're going to get hurt. If they let you cast a Chaos Bolt, they're going to get Omega hurt. If you have the chance to be at minus 20% health, you're gonna get Shadow Burned into another Shadow Burn and you would be dead. Like, you are destroyed. While on retail it is not the case. GCC is also way interesting on Classic than on retail. On retail, there is also CC, but it feels a bit weird because you cannot really like. I feel like retail has other issues. I'm not gonna talk too much about retail, but this version of Warlock is one of the best versions of Warlock, and I even played Demonology Warlock, and it's actually very fun. I really enjoyed my time as well. I was like more of a in the stand of Demonology Warlock. Do I really need to play it? But after playing it in pre-patch and even on beta a bit, and now understanding where the damage comes from, it is also very fun and very doable to enjoy your time. So after careful consideration, this will be my first announced like main, without talking about the hunter and the druid, which are really in contention. But if I have to choose one class right now, like knife to my throat, like I have to choose right now, it would be Warlock, without hesitation, and the knife would be pulled away and I would be safe, kinda. But anyways, Warlock. A Shaman. Now Shaman is also very interesting. Now my issue is it is in the top 5, maybe top 4, and it's really going to be decided on the fact that do I want to play 4 characters or do I want to play 3 characters? That's the only thing that is going to matter. Do I want to play 3 or 4 characters? If it's 4, it might go in. If it's 3, it is already out because it is not in my top 3. It has nothing to do with the gameplay because I think the gameplay is very fun. It has to do with the fact that I have played too much Shaman from retail, and even though this version of Shaman is vastly better than the version of retail, because again retail kind of sucks. I'm gonna reiterate on that. I played Elemental Shaman. I think it's really fun. It's different. You have your lava surges, which makes your lava burst instant compared to what you have in Cataclysm, where it was a force set from PvE. Now in PvP, even then you get like instant lava bursts. You have your Elemental Blast, which is also very fun and very flavorful. Your Lightning Bolt does damage, and you have Fulmination, which it is important, but like it's very hard to get like at 7 stacks if you're like spamming lightning bolts and you're like untouched, maybe, but it's very hard to get to 7 stacks. So I enjoy Elemental Shaman. I would say Enhancement Shaman is also very fun. My issue is that I have to choose between Elemental Shaman and Enhancement Shaman because the gear is not the same. I'd say that if I have to choose which spec I'm going to main if I'm playing Shaman, it would be Enhancement Shaman, but it has nothing to do with Elemental Shaman being worse. It has to do with me playing Warlock. If I'm playing Warlock, I want to be playing another type of class than a caster, and it would be Enhancement Shaman. Because Elemental Shaman is kind of resembling as a Warlock in the sense where it plays kind of, it's not the same for sure. It has less CC. It is a hybrid. You can off heal and you can do well on it. But you know what? I'm gonna take risk. I really enjoy Enhancement Shaman compared to Elemental Shaman. There I said it. I think if I have to choose between Destruction Warlock and Elemental Shaman, I would choose Destruction Warlock. And if I have to choose Elemental Shaman between Enhancement Shaman, it would be Enhancement Shaman because I prefer Destruction Warlock. It's a weird like consideration, but I think it's one of the consideration I would consider myself making. Now Rogue. I kind of fell in love with Rogue. Most notably, a Rogue spec that is not regarded as very meta, but I enjoy Assassination Rogue a lot. Dare I say, like, it's crazy how good it is, like, fun-wise. You have Vendetta, your Deadly Poison, even though, again, you're playing Wound Poison most likely if you don't have a MS effect, but I really like Deadly Poison to be, like, top damage. Like, it actually, like, for example, on pre-patch, although it could be a bug, it could be a bug and misleading, but Deadly Poison on the pre-patch does insane amount of damage. Like really insane amount of damage. Like it is top damage. And then you have your Envenom also doing a lot of damage. Mutilate doing a lot of damage. Dispatch, very fun because it actually feels very good to do a dispatch on a mage because it wrecks people. Like I have a lot of fun with Assassination Rogue, and it kind of reminds me of a simpler time where I was a kid, I was maining Rogue, and it was fun to be stealth. I remember those times, and I kind of want to play Rogue, and to be fair, it is in my top 3, so I will be also leveling a rogue in Miss Pandaria. So I'll be making content as well, and I'll be maining Assassination Rogue. I know it is not meta. I know Rogue is not meta in Miss Pandaria Classic. It is definitely not the best spec. I concur, but I'm having one of the most fun on that class, and I still believe fun is the most important aspect in any game. Like, if you play only for the meta and you're having like not a lot of fun, you're going to quit once you have reached your goal. While if you have fun, even if you reach your goal, you would still be playing because that is the fun, and it's easy fun to have as a rogue. Now, that's not to say that like combat and subtlety is boring, because that's also two specs that are very fun. Combat rogue, your killing spree is really really fun as well. You have obviously like big eviscerates as well, because you have an ability that is improving your finishing moves. You have big kidney shots as well. I enjoy combat rogue as well, and I know it's not meta. Again, I don't care. I'm playing it for fun, and you have also subtlety rogue, which with shadow dance, and you have way more possibilities to CC the enemy. And with the talent rework, you can have all the fun as well on this type of character. Like, again, I cannot reiterate again. If you do not know what to play and you are someone that loves to be sneaky in BGs, in open world, or in arenas, like Rogue is unmatched. It's really unmatched, and I think the CC that can bring, you can really win just purely with CC. You can play double DPS as a rogue very efficiently. You don't need to think too hard. Just get a mage, get a warlock, or get a feral, or get a hunter, and you can have a lot of fun with that. Even in Miss Pandaria. So I enjoy my time as a rogue. So I'll be for sure playing rogue in Miss Pandaria. I even hesitate, and I'm going to level probably 1 for TBC, and I'm gonna have a blast. I'm gonna do that for sure. And it's definitely more fun than Rogue on retail. I think Rogue on retail is, anyways, like Sub Rogue on retail is one of the most boring classes I have ever seen, man. I mean, anyways, thank you. So that leaves with like one more spot, because I'm going to level 3 characters. I'm going to PvP with 3 characters. Now, I have 2 DPS characters, which is Warlock and Rogue, and obviously, I kind of need a healer, because if my friends are going to play DPS sometimes, I want to be able to heal as well. I don't want to do triple DPS every single time. Sometimes triple DPS is too cheesy, and I want to be able to win games. I want to have fun with games. I'll be mostly playing Druid. So Druid will be my 3rd character that I'm going to level, and it's going to be a Resto Druid slash Balance Druid, and I'll be more flexible on that. And I'd say the 4th character, if I'm leveling a 4th character, which can happen, is going to be disconnected me, but whatever, is going to be for sure either between Hunter or Shaman, or if for some reason I'm going to boost a character, we'll see. But right now I'm not going to boost. I think I'm good right now. Maybe I'm going to wait for a discount if ever it comes a discount, because 60 euros is a lot. Or I level a character, I don't mind. But for now, I'm very happy. Mr. Bandaya, like the classic dev team, you guys are surprising me. You guys are doing excellent work. Excellent work. If you compare it to retail, like your team is doing like crazy things. Like you're doing PvP changes which I would never have guessed ever. If you would come out with a blue post with a solo queue or whatever, you would break the internet. That's how I see it. Now, do I need solo queue to enjoy Miss Pandaria? No, I think solo queue kind of like it's very hard because it could be different factors, but it kind of destroyed retail. At least the LFG scene doesn't exist anymore, and people are like acting as if LFG was never a thing, and the social aspect of finding teammates was never a thing on retail, when it was like this ever, and it was like changed in Dragonflight, and for some reason people are like losing their mind if you actually talk about like making 2v2 and 3v3 relevant, which again the most popular expansions, which are like Miss Pandaria, and to a certain extent PvP Wolves of Draenor was really good. Those were like golden ages of like LFG. People were like really finding teammates. They were really playing with each other, and it was not like open bar like in retail where you could play with anyone and anyone from every server. It was not like this back in the day, right? And you would still find teammates. And for some reason right now you cannot find teammates because people don't want to socialize anymore. They don't have time to socialize anymore. They don't want to find people to play with. And I think it's because of solo queue. People are like having short-term memory on that. And so I would be okay with solo queue in Miss Pandaria, but I would be not shocked. I would be not as shocked if they said that like that solo queue shouldn't fit in Classic. I would not be shocked. I would like it. It would be insane content for me, obviously. It would be insane videos. But I understand, like, if they say, like, look, you're on Classic, try to socialize with people to get into teams. I understand. But anyways, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.